in the sleeping bag. No, I'm serious. This is like real shit, real talk.
What?
No, it's common. Like you were in the police. You went out every single week. Okay, you had the luxury to like go out, go home, and rub one out. But in the military, in the real army,
Rub one out.
okay, you're very frustrated.
Answering your questions about DP and the Korean military in general. We have both served in the military as Korean men. You submitted your questions about DP via our Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram, by the way. And we are going to answer some interesting questions. Okay, so let's go on. So is the portrayal in DP realistic to what military is actually like? Accuracy level.
I would say episode 1, very, very accurate. The vibes instantly like brought me back to my military days.
Yeah.
But like episodes of like, you know, them going outside catching these criminals,
Right.
The work of DP, like between episodes 2 to like 4, very inaccurate.
Very
I would
inaccurate.
say even if you're a DP,
Right.
like you
The
would
mentality.
you would not like work that hard
Yeah.
to catch some, you know, random ass deserter. Like I would honestly like not even give a shit.
Right. I would try hard to not catch the
Right,
deserter.
like I would be like 고경표 and just go to 노래방s and, you know, like just drink and shit.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then-
we missed him. Oh, we're trying hard.
Oh, too
Yeah.
bad. Maybe we gotta stay a few more days.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the mentality
Right.
that I think 99% of the enlisted
100%.
Because like you're not getting paid anything, and like what's the motive of risking your life for
Right.
whatever the fuck that is?
But as it gets darker in like episode 5 and 6, and I mean it's of course an extreme case,
Yeah.
but those cases do exist. So I would say
Right.
that there would be an amount of accuracy there too. The types of abuse that show on the series are like that, or are they worse?
The exact types of abuse that's shown, like the punching and like the showing your dick and stuff. Honestly, I haven't experienced that myself in my base. I would say there are bases that are like that. It's really dependent on which base you end up being in. So if you're stationed in like some rural ass area where nobody lives, then obviously no one's gonna be watching you, and there's gonna be a lot more shit going on.
Yeah.
But if you live in a big base, if you're stationed there, then it's relatively more.
But I think we can all agree to the fact that it is plausible. When we saw the drama itself, saw all the bullying behavior and the abusive behavior, we didn't really like flinch. Or
Yeah.
we didn't really think it was super exaggerated.
Like the actions themselves might have been different, but the like the psychological, the
Yeah.
emotional stress that's put on you is pretty much the same.
And I related to a lot of bullying that
Yeah.
happened in this show as well. So definitely seen it, heard about it. Do the high officers really don't want people to know what occurs in the base?
Oh,
yes.
definitely, yes.
Yes.
This is actually one of the things that the drama portrayed really well.
Realistic.
The officers, because if it goes out to the public, then their own livelihoods might be in danger because people want them like stepping down and stuff. So they want to keep it as quiet as possible.
There are one in like hundreds of
Yeah.
like those brilliant officers that actually care about the squad or like actually care about national defense. But in most cases, they're all just trying to save their own jobs. And once something bad happens, they're all trying to like cover it. They all try to cope with the situation in a way that it doesn't harm their reputation
Right.
or their status.
Right. Are the physical punishments that tough? Are there many deserters? Okay, so the physical punishments, I'm guessing you're talking about the hitting. Hitting
like
is
the,
not common, but like going like this, doing push-ups, doing this shit, that's all common. That's like boot camp. You go in from day one.
Yeah.
They just make you do that, and you just learn to conform, and that's kind of how you get to be a soldier, I guess. Like you follow orders that do stupid shit like that.
I mean, back in the day in my base, there was a lot of slapping and stuff like that. So yeah,
okay.
you would push someone to the wall and you're like,
Yeah.
미쳤어?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying, right?
You,
I was in the police, and we would get into like police buses, and a senior would sit on a subordinate's lap, and we would like, yeah, 뭐 해봐. And then whenever you do this, you would be like, 이병기여서. There would be punishment like when we're going out for like patrol or like a situation. We would never be able to put our backs on the cushions or the seats. We would have to sit like this for the entire trip.
What a dumb
Yeah,
rule.
there were a lot of dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to use the internet until I was not a private.
My friend got bullied like for a good amount of a year, I guess,
Wow.
just because he read a book on the first day of his
Oh,
enlistment.
wow.
He was like,
Yeah, you
"What
can't
the
read
You're reading a book?
Yeah, you can't read books, you can't use the internet, you can't use a phone if you're like a low rank.
Yeah. People don't like smart people.
Right,
Yeah.
right. There are a few deserters. I guess it all depends on the base. My base was relatively like easy compared to like if you're in Gangwon-do. So there were a few deserters, but most of the cases are like, oh, their girlfriends.
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
issues with
I
their
agree.
girlfriends, and it's not like they run away. I've never seen a deserter like actually like jump the fence.
Right.
It's
They just
more like
sneak out or not return.
no. They don't sneak out. They
don't return
They
from-
just don't return from vacation,
Yeah.
and that's what happens.
Yeah. I've only seen like maybe 3 deserters in my whole service.
How does the military treat trans people and other queer people? Okay, so first of all, trans people, they don't go to the military. I don't think they're accepted. Actually, there was a recent case where an officer transitioned while he, or now she, was on vacation. The military kicked her out, and eventually she committed suicide. It was very unfortunate. So far, yeah, no trans people in the military.
And as for queer people, I mean, if you don't come out yourself, nobody's going to know.
It's like
Nobody's
don't ask,
going to really
don't
question.
tell.
Yeah. But there are some cases, things happen in the military. If that gets revealed, there's going to be a very big stigma, or you're going to get questioned. Is the military enlistment age 18 to 28 in Korean or international age?
International age. All Korean laws are international age. So if you see any Korean law, it's international age.
Bullying among soldiers, especially if it's toward a celebrity.
Actually, I would say celebrities would probably get preferential treatment rather than bullying.
There would be no bullying towards a celebrity.
No. They would be treated differently from the officers themselves, because if they get hurt, then that's like a big
Problem.
and it's gonna get into the media. So they treat them actually better than the most soldiers.
Even the soldiers themselves are.
Or they want to get something out, like GD bought everybody like nice ass dinners and shit. I would be nice to GD then. Do idols that serve 2 years also remain in the country or maybe deployed too? I've never seen an idol. Actually, there were a few in the cast of DP that were deployed overseas, but these are all like you have to volunteer. And it's actually very competitive. People want to go out because it pays well, and also it's a fun experience, right?
Yeah.
Because Korean soldiers don't really go into war zones. If they volunteered, yes, but I doubt an idol would want to volunteer to go be deployed overseas.
I've never seen anyone around me getting deployed.
Yeah, I tried. I actually tried to go to the Philippines, but no.
But do you think the time period of serving in the military is reasonable, more, less, or far? So one of the things we laughed about in the watch party was once Chung In, or what was it, Ibyeong An Junho, every scene change, there's like D minus 360 something.
No, it wasn't even 3.
Yeah,
it was
D minus
560
560 something. And, you know, whenever we see that day count, it gives us like, you know, trauma, because like the days go really slow. Time relatively flows slow in the military.
It's so slow.
We have a saying that the military's clock runs slower.
No, it goes backward.
Yeah, the military clock goes backwards.
Yeah.
So that's how you feel. Everyone, like, even if it's shortened a lot compared to our father generation, I heard it was like actual 2 years, like 24 months.
No, it was actually 3 years.
Yeah, for some people.
Yeah.
And it got shortened and shortened. In our service, it was 21 months, and now I think it's 18 months.
Yeah.
So it's getting shorter and shorter, but still relatively for the person inside,
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just long, okay? It's just sacrificing your youth. Like you're in your 20s, it's your prime of your whole life. Think about getting confined into some random ass rural area, not being able to use, you know, the internet or seeing.
Actually, they have phones now. So
these days, it's
might
getting
be
better.
I would say the length doesn't really matter as much as the people that you meet in the military, because if you have really nice people, then it's okay. But if you have like really shitty people, like in the DP drama, then your 1.5 years may feel like an eternity.
So I heard rape is common in the Korean military. Is that true?
Common as in like daily activity or witness? No. Actually, I've never witnessed or even heard of rape in my base.
But sexual harassment occurs a lot on a daily basis, I would say. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't work around females at all.
No, like
So,
male
I
to
don't
male.
know.
I'm talking male to male.
Oh yeah. There was this guy that kept touching me.
Yeah, there's
And
always these dudes
that
that
are really
come to your
touchy.
bed at
Yeah.
night and
Oh,
cuddle
right.
with you.
Oh, now that I remember. Oh,
Yeah,
someone like tried to like spoon me at night, and I was like, she was my senior, and I was like, 손 떼라.
Yeah, there's always these dudes that
there's
do that.
some weird ass
and
dudes,
also
right?
there's always these dudes that compliment or degrade your ding dong in the shower.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh
actually,
wow.
Actually, yeah, there's a lot of.
You know,
like,
you want to
sexual,
hear a hilarious story?
harassment.
We have a point system in the police, and
Yeah.
if you get good points, you get to leave for a
Yeah,
vacation.
yeah.
And an officer actually came into the shower, and there was this dude with a huge ding dong, and he was like, "Oh, even your dick is saluting to me. You get a point for that."
And then you got a point.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's borderline sexual
Yeah.
harassment, but
Well, at least it's for a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Like at least it's not like, hey, you have a small dick.
No, but
you get a minus.
But
point.
because of that, everyone looked at his dick and they were like staring and they were laughing. Oh, his dick is saluting, you know? Oh, what happens if someone doesn't want to do the military?
you can go to prison. Yeah, someone will come.
Yeah, someone
will come.
They will find you.
They will find a way.
Trap you.
Now you can technically not consent to service, but the alternative service is I think 3 years.
In prison or something.
No, it's not prison. They decriminalized that, so
Okay.
you can actually technically not go, but you have to do a lot longer service somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
Not in the military.
Yeah, I heard a trial passed. It was someone from the Jehovah's Witness.
그게
or something.
그거야.
Yeah.
Okay, do you get benefits after minimum time served, or are the benefits only for long-standing officials? Basically, no. If you're enlisted and you're doing mandatory service, maybe during your service you might get some benefits like cheaper train rides.
Yeah, cheaper movie tickets.
Cheaper movie tickets. There's things like that. Cheaper maybe coffee
Yeah.
in some places. But like after you finish your service, there's nothing.
Nothing substantial. There is this debate about whether you get extra points when you apply to a company. If you serve the military, men mostly would get an extra point for like getting into a company. But a lot of people
Feel that's unfair.
feel that's unfair and that's questionable. So there's a debate between that's an issue of gender conflict, I would say.
Can you stay in the military if you're overweight even after training, or do they release you because you're not fit? Okay, so I've never seen anybody released because they're too fat after they've joined the military. They would actually filter those people out before joining the military. So like you do your physicals and they check if you but you have to be really, really overweight. You have to be like morbidly obese to be not going to the military. So it's actually really tough to meet those requirements. But if you get fat during the military service, you still have to finish it.
Theoretically, you can't get fat in the military.
It's really hard to.
Yeah, like the food they give you,
It's shit.
it's shit, and you get hard
but
training.
I've
every day.
seen people get fat.
I got fat a little bit, but you don't have the time to get like obese in the
No.
military. Do guys often break up or not have relationships before the military because of the distance?
Yes.
Yes.
I broke up with my girlfriend when I was going to the military.
Yeah, it's a cliche.
And most guys who are in the military with their girlfriend, they eventually end up breaking up.
Yeah, we say it's the top 1% that only survives
Right.
a relationship within the military until its end. I'm in that 1%. Yeah,
But
that relationship's over now. But anyways, most like 99 people break up in the military. I've seen so many like soldiers crying over the phone. And,
But honestly, like if I was a girl, I mean I understand.
Yeah.
Like, you're young and your time is precious. And this guy is coming out like once every 2 months.
Yeah, you can't even talk to him every day.
Yeah, you can't even. I guess now it's gonna get better because like they have phones now. But back then, like we'd be talking to them like once every other day.
Yeah. Have you guys experienced or known someone that has gone through a situation like in the show?
Yeah. I mean, like I've had similar situations, not with that intensity myself in the show. And also a lot of my friends, they went to bases that were actually like physically punishing, like hitting and shit and like kicking. Usually, like if the officer finds out, they just go to military prison. So they do get punished if the officers do find out, because for them it's like a big headache if something happens. So usually like it's not as severe, but I think the most famous case in Korea is Yoon Il-byung.
Oh, yeah.
This private that got like really severely physically abused
Yeah.
and eventually died because of it just a few weeks into his military service. And actually, I'm gonna make a video covering the topic.
That was in the epilogue and the credits of
Right.
DP. For me, I've had a similar case. There was this one dude that got bullied a lot because a lot of factors. He didn't wash. He always smelled. He always snored. He was not good at things. He always spilled the milk.
Sounds like someone who's gonna get bullied.
Yeah, and he was really small, and he was like not good at athletics and stuff like that. He always had this very eerie stare. But he got secondhand bullied again because of that stare. You know, when you get bullied, like some people are like really look like they're scared, but this guy's like, the seniors would always get like kind of creeped out and bully him more because of that.
Start something.
Yeah, start something. Well, what's with your eyes and stuff like that. There was this one time we would do like regular shooting every 6 months or something when we have actual ammo and guns. Before the actual day, the seniors went to the officer and said, I don't think we should include the bullied dude into the training. And the officer was like, why? He's like, I have a feeling that he might shoot us all. And they were like dead serious because that dude, they knew in their own conscience that like this dude was not
happy
and well, and he always had that weird stare.
Yeah.
So, and it was after the Unibyung incident.
Right.
So they were like, I think we shouldn't include him.
There are a couple of guys like that.
And the officer actually said like, oh, he wants to save his own job too. So he's like, oh really?
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
like,
let's
safety
exclude.
is first.
Yeah, so
always.
he was given the dishwashing role for that day. He was washing dishes
That
for the whole.
That sounds like a way to make him angry even more. He's like, because shooting guns is easy.
Yeah,
You just shoot 20 and then you go home.
Yeah.
Good question. Are the army slippers really so indestructible as everyone says? Yes. This is like, this slipper is probably like the best thing about the military. Like
It's the only best thing.
yeah,
about
it's the
military.
only good thing that you receive from the military are those slippers.
Yeah.
They never break. I've
green
never
ones,
seen
right?
them break. No, and they're so light and they're so comfortable. Oh, I kind of want to buy one.
Yeah,
right
we should
now.
put it into the Naked Soul.
No, seriously, like it's a good product.
Do you get paid for mandatory service time? Yes, we do, but like this much? I mean, it's getting better at the moment, but when I was in the military back in 2013, 14, DP period, I got $100 when I was like 병장, the last phase. You can't really do anything with it.
Actually, I had to get money from my mom.
Me too.
Because I couldn't afford the train ride home.
Me too. What I didn't understand was heavy smokers in the military. They're like,
I was also smoking.
yeah, like I don't understand why you would spend like half of your money, which is $20 or $30.
Well, you're not gonna save that shit anyway, so might as well just spend it. You know?
Okay.
What was your day-to-day like in the military? This depends on like what rank I was. If I was a private, I also was bullied a lot. But then like as you climb up the ranks and everybody goes home and gets discharged, then you become the king. And when I was the king, oh, good times. I just fucking went to the office and there were no officers there. It was just us, the enlisted, and I just napped.
Yeah, I would nap all day, read comic books and stuff like that.
And at that time, I was like really into bodybuilding. So I would basically focus my entire day around working out after work. Technically, work finishes around like 5-6 p.m.
Yeah.
But I would go to the gym at like 4 p.m. and then work out and then take more naps.
But
And-
basically, when you're a private, though, things are very different because
No.
your hands shouldn't be like resting. You always have to be busy. And if you get spotted slacking off, like if you're just like even sitting there, people will come and bully you. They're gonna come and like, what?
Yeah.
You're actually sitting on the bed?
Right, like you have to be like memorizing songs,
Yeah, exactly.
names, phone numbers.
We had to
whatever
memorize
the
like
fuck it
maps,
is.
you know.
And if you're not doing that, if you're like just like chilling or doing nothing, they come and
They're
ask
a
you,
quiz.
like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Name this guy's phone number. And if you get it wrong, they're gonna bully you. They're gonna say like, "What are you doing, you motherfucker?"
Yeah. For me, I always had to like trace maps and you know
Sounds boring.
learn locations and like you know private codes for the police and stuff.
Okay.
And also like you would always have to like mop the floor or either like the window
Ceiling.
panes.
You mop everywhere.
Yeah, you always have to be mopping something.
Yeah, like there's always shit to do in the military. Don't worry.
It's either they give you quizzes
Yeah.
or they're like, if you're like just sitting there for like a split second, oh, they see you and they go to like the window and like they like swipe the window like this.
Oh.
Was it?
I actually did that to my privates.
Oh,
too. But it was a joke, guys.
Everyone
hey,
does
it
that.
was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah.
Good times.
Okay. Is the psychological pressure and abuse really bad as it is portrayed in the series?
Oh,
okay, since we
yes.
talked about physical abuse, let's talk
Yes.
about psychological.
Psychological abuse was really
The worst
bad.
part. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't receive a lot of physical abuse, but like psychological, they will humiliate you.
Yeah.
So this is a story happened when I was a private. Like when we go to the cafeteria, we all gather. The entire company gathers. So there's like 80 people in front of like this parking lot. One of my seniors asked me, like, I was like just like 3 days in that base, like, hey, what's for dinner? And then I have to memorize that shit. So like, I said something. And he said I got the kimchi type wrong. And then he literally, like, with 80 people in that parking lot waiting, he was like shouting at the back of my head. Like, he was like saying I was useless and saying I was a motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. Like, for literally like 5 minutes while we were waiting in the parking lot. He was constantly, that shit's like on the regular. And I got really pissed off that like I kind of like, when we were sitting at the cafeteria, I like did this and then like
you were one of the Bongdi-sen.
I did this.
You were
Bongdi-sen.
Bongdi-sen.
And then the entire cafeteria went quiet and everybody was looking at me. And after that,
you were one of the crazy ones.
After that, I got bullied even more.
Yeah.
And then I ended up fighting one of the sergeants, and then after that, people just treated me as an invisible person, basically. And then that was better for me though. I was like
lonely.
But it's better than getting bullied.
I guess. Speaking of humiliation, I think the biggest psychological pain is when your seniors humiliate your closest people, like your family, friends, or girlfriends, because there was always poor people, and the seniors would always go to like these poor people from poor families and say like, what does your mom do? Is she like a cleaner? And you know,
or they would comment on like girlfriends' appearances. So if they're ugly, like
how the fuck
they were like, oh, like she looks like a fucking gorilla, blah blah blah, like.
And my girlfriend was pretty, and
and that's even worse.
Yeah, they would sexually humiliate your girlfriend so much. Like they would be like, "Oh, can I f your girlfriend?" Style and like tie her up. They would actually, my journal had a picture of her on it, and then they would get my journal and rub it on their dicks. And stuff
really?
Like that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, in front of me. And like, are you getting angry? Is this making you angry? There's this like guest visit time, and my girlfriend would come to like there's like the arcade.
Yeah.
You know, and then the seniors would come all down and sit in a remote like table over there, and they would be like. Watching you
oh my god,
watching you until you end the guest visit, and we would be so uncomfortable. We couldn't even like hold our hands or do anything.
They're trying to make you break up, basically.
They're just messing with you. They're just like
yeah.
Like, but the family friend talk was like the worst in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many days of vacation do you get? Well, this differs from base to base, and what type of person to person. If you excel in your training and stuff, you'll get a lot of vacations. If you're just doing the bare minimum, you'll get the minimum amount of vacations. If you're in the police, you get to go out every week. But I want to talk a little about the DP position you see in the drama. That is a very rare occasion. A normal soldier wouldn't be able to go outside to the society. And
not wearing a uniform.
Yeah, not wearing a uniform, going to like norebangs or PC rooms. That would be like a luxury of a luxury.
That would be like the best job in the world. You know what I got excited for when I was in the military? There was a case when I went outside the military base too, and it was for like some war veteran memorial shit. And I got excited about going to a memorial.
Yeah.
Like that's
people will get excited to go donate their blood or something.
Right. I got excited to go to like help out at a farm because I'm getting out of the base. So for me, like for the regular military guys, army guys, they go out like maybe once every 2-3 months. I was really lucky because I was able to somehow now it's over, so it's kind of off the record, I guess. But I was able to manipulate my overtime work hours so that I would get out every single month. So sorry, officers, I fucking cheated. That's how it is.
But I was kind of privileged because there's like things called special vacations if you get like accomplishments in certain certificates or academic certificates and something. And my English is good, so I would go for like the easiest English exams ever, like TOEIC or TOEFL or whatever. If you get this amount of scores, you would go out. So I would take tests every single month and go out.
That's nice.
Special leaves and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but for people who just don't have anything, it's really hard for them to get up. Yeah.
Okay, did you ever get anxious that you might actually have to fight during your time in the military? Personally, no. I don't think there were any like actual crisis happening, any provocations from the north happening while we were in the military. I remember there was one time, I think it was while I was in the later half of my military service, where North Korea was trying to provoke South, but the base kind of went into war practice mode. So we would wake up every single day with our gas masks and like camouflage and all that shit. That we did that for like about 2 weeks, and actually at that time, like at first I was kind of like worried that we would maybe go to war because they were telling us, okay, if the bomb drops, this is where you assemble and shit like that, and like they were explaining to us all these war plans. But then after a while, it was like I'm kind of getting bored of waiting. So is it gonna happen or not? Like I stopped caring after a while. And then nothing happened.
I didn't ever get anxious about like having to actually fight in a war or anything. But the thing for us was like I was anxious about the training because of those provocations. Like the military would like phase up a little bit, and then we would have. I hated that phase when there was like this Korea-US like joint key resolve training or something, and then we would get these like anti-terror training or whatever, and we would be stationed in the cities and where people have to evacuate during terror and stuff, and we would have to memorize all that shit, go there and practice, and that's the part that was hard. But I never actually thought there would be war.
What are some unspoken rules when you are in the military? Okay, I think most unspoken rules are regarding privates.
Oh yeah.
Privates don't get to, skip meals. Actually, that's not allowed in the military, so it's maybe a written rule. Privates, they don't get to use the internet. In the case of my base, they don't get to use the gym. They don't get to call like every single day.
Privates are just animals. Let's be clear.
They just don't get to do anything.
They don't have human rights.
They don't have human rights.
Yeah.
Privates just shut the fuck up, memorize names, phone numbers, and do whatever you're told. I
think one interesting unspoken rule or dynamic, let's say, would be if you're like nearing your discharge, you basically become invisible, and also you become irrelevant as well. So you lose power. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Like you're free, but nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody would actually kind of listen to you. The rank before the highest rank, the corporate or whatever. Would be the strongest authority in the base, and the bully in the DP.
Yeah, it was a corporal.
Yeah, he would be the strongest, and the dudes that's just like
the sergeants are like, just go fucking.
Yeah, they're just like gone people already.
And I guess an unspoken rule is to just not bother them. Like just
make them do whatever they want.
Like don't care. You don't have to care about them. Like don't. Let them be. Let them just like waste their time away because that's what they want to do.
But the funny thing is though, like even if they're invisible people, sometimes corporals use them as like a symbolic figure to bully the privates. Like, oh, do you know his name? Or why didn't you salute to him? Like they use them as like these tools.
And then sometimes the sergeants, if they get really bored, they pretend to be a private. And they go to a new recruit. And they're like, hey, don't you think that corporal's like such a fucking asshole? I think he's an asshole. Like, why don't
instigate stuff?
Why don't we like report him to the officer? I used to do that.
And, one funny thing, like this is totally off trail, but one funny thing is the classic joke we always do is like go to the convenience store outside and go buy your ammo, buy your gun, and buy your equipment.
Yeah, that's like a joke. But I don't think there's like people that believe that now.
The forced masturbation, did stuff like that happen?
No. Not in my base. I've never seen anybody do
Yeah,
that.
that's too harsh. That was kind of harsh for me.
But
to
I'm
watch.
sure there are cases like it wouldn't surprise me that someone
as
did
we
that.
said, it's plausible.
Like it's the military.
Yeah, anything.
People
can
do
happen.
fucked up shit there.
I mean, a lot of people masturbate when they're in the military.
All the time.
They go to like the bathrooms or.
I mean, you don't really have to go to the bathroom. Like sleeping bag.
What?
No, I'm serious.
Then where do you like ejaculate?
It's in the sleeping bag. No, I'm serious. This is like real shit, real talk.
What?
No, it's common. Like you were in the police. You went out every single week. Okay, you had the luxury to like go out, go home, and rub one out. But in the military, in the real army,
Rub one out.
okay, you're very frustrated, and it's honestly it's really tough to like fap in the toilets because it's very echoey.
Yeah.
Like it's like.
We would always like look over and see if someone's like.
Okay, that's kind of weird too. Like I don't want to see other people like do that. I respect their privacy. But anyway, I'd rather just like do it in the sleeping bag when everybody's sleeping.
Too much info. TMI. Okay, that was it for the.
I'm just setting a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
I'm not saying I did that.
Okay, so that was it for answering your questions about DP and the Korean military in general. I hope you enjoyed this session. Yeah, the Korean military is unique in its own ways, I guess.
It's a fun time in retrospect.
Yeah, in retrospect, everything seems fun, but
I kind of miss those
actually, I
days.
kind of wanted to die when I was in there, even when I was better off.
I wanted to die in there too, but I also now miss it.
Yeah, the first day I was assigned to my base, I remember myself calling my mom and crying and say, "Don't you know any like higher officials or like people in power? Can you pull some
No
strings?"
wonder you were bullied.
I wasn't bullied. I was actually one of the
The bullies?
이쁨 받은, like
the aces, the pets.
And the best way to earn credit or like love in the military is introduce your seniors girls. This is pro 101
that's
tip.
like
This is like whatever you do, you'll get forgiven.
Yeah.
If you do this,
Yeah.
like make a promise when you get there. Like, oh, I know this girl in my college. She's really hot. I'll hook you guys up.
Yeah. And then never introduce her.
Just give them false hope.
Until they discharge.
Yeah.
And then just say, oh, when you discharge, I'll hook you up.
No, actually though, like what I did was I went around their backs, like my seniors' backs, and called my girlfriend and say, "Can you please act that you'll try to like meet him sometime? I'll give you like
you used your girlfriend for that?
Not my girlfriend, like my friend girls."
Oh.
And they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I know you're having a hard time." And then I would
nice
connect
friends,
them in like
yeah.
Facebook, and they would be like, "Hi, yeah, so when should we meet?" And then she would go Mia,
Oh,
MIA.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Well,
was too
this
busy.
day,
I got a boyfriend recently.
I gotta feed my cat.
And then you move on to the next girl.
Yeah.
You prolong your. Yeah, anyways.
So there you go. That's DP. Go watch our watch party of DP if you haven't watched it yet. It's very fun. Watch it with us on patreon.com/DKDKTV, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.